Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Building a Nation with Team Canada as we continue with the 2025 Confederations Cup. Had some interesting happenstance. Let's take a look at Canadian competitions. This is what I'm looking for. Look at that. Ecuador and England had a draw. 4 points apiece. So now we're in striking distance of both of them. So if England doesn't beat South Korea, we could jump ahead of them. Likewise, Ecuador. So all we have to do is beat Ecuador, and we're up there. A draw probably won't do it because of our goal differential, -2. So a win, and we're in, no matter what. Ecuador will go out. Maybe even we'll go top of the group. Who knows? But let's get to the match preview. Here we go. Canada versus Ecuador. Evens. Interesting. Even money for Ecuador. So I think that means they're the favorite. Both come in inconsistent form. 3 wins, a draw, and a loss for Ecuador. 3 wins and 2 losses for Canada. No previous meetings. It's breezy and 100 degrees. We're back in AT&T Stadium in Dallas, Texas. 80,000 tickets sold out. Now, what's interesting is they said that because of restrictions, not every seat will be available. So 80,000 is the capacity for this stadium in this configuration. So we have sold out. That's good. All right, let's take a look at the coach for Ecuador, Pablo Repeto, 51-year-old Uruguayan. Pretty good. Man management, motivating, mental, working with youngsters, tactical. He's pretty good. Been Ecuadorian head coach since 2022. Before that, coach of Liga de Quito. Olympia. Yeah, sure. So he's been a head coach for a long, long time and got the Ecuadorian job. So there's been a little bit of coaching turnover, the teams in this tournament. Guys, getting the cycle, I guess. But anyway, that's not really what we're looking at. Let's take a look at Ecuador. Take a look at the team. They've got some high-valued players. Nobody in the, hundreds of millions. So I think we can be okay, although, prices may be a little bit depressed because they don't have, they got a guy at Barcelona, Ecuador, so not exactly Barcelona. But they don't have a lot of guys who are at, big teams like, Premier League or someplace like that will just raise the prices up. Munoz is at Schalke. They got some guys in the Brazilian league. Julio at ATP. But other than that, they've just got some pretty decent guys. They're at least better than our guys on paper. The goalkeeper, Marco Gordon, looks pretty good at only $18.75 million. Jose Cuervo. Not Jose Cuervo, but anyway, he's very fast. Not technically great, though he does have 15 tackling as a fullback. So, this is another team. They're at least as good as South Korea. So I think we got another tough game on our hands, and we'll see what we can do. So let's get to the team selection. We're going to go again with this formation, the 4-4-2, positive. See what we can do. Basically the exact same lineup as last time. Not basically. It is the exact same lineup. And we'll probably do the same sort of changes as we did last time. We're just not going to break the mojo. Free and Davies are not fully fit. Okay, just like last time. No problems. No problems. Canada versus Ecuador. They're also going to the 4-4-2. Grazo in the midfield, taking the captain's armband. 4 subbed off the bench. 6.6 rating, not that great. There's Gordon again. 19 concessions in 10 appearances. That seems like a lot for a guy of that caliber. Munoz, 5 goals, 5 assists. Why are these guys playing so many games? 13 appearances. Anyway, we're going with McGee, Zlatkovic, Jaguar, Dunn, Oro, Davies, Daniels, Rosalind, and Faria in the midfield, and then Hundle and Millar up top. Going to bring David off the bench again. That seemed to give us a spark last game. All right. Dressing room. Dressing room, pep talk. Let's be passionate. We could secure qualifications with a win here. Go out there and impress me. All right. Got a couple of motivated boys, but not a lot. All right. Let's see. We got a lot of guys with a lot of assists. So we will tightly mark Grazo. I think that's about it. 2 strikers up top. I know that we need to press them. We'll just press down the middle like we normally do. Tunnel talk. Tunnel talk. Not the best weather for soccer. My players can adapt to any situation. Get out. Lots of Ecuadorian fans, lots of Canadian fans. I'm sure several neutrals. Ecuador in the yellow, blue, and red. Same exact colors as their flag. I mean, not that we don't all wear the same exact colors of our flag, but you know what I'm saying. They got the yellow, the blue, and the red. It's well timed, well spaced out on the uniform. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, we are still on extended highlights, right? Yeah. No, we're on key highlights. What happened? How did we do that? Extended. Here we go. Corner from Davies. Sends it in. Millar. Millar. He finally scores. What an opportune time for him to break his awful streak. Canada moves up to first position. How about that? I bet you wouldn't have thought that after the England game. This is the type of thing we could do in the World Cup if we don't get another group of death. All right? You know, lose to a top 5 team and then squeak out some victories against the top 20 type teams. You know, speaking a little too soon here, but we've got some life. Here's Ecuador on the attack. Moving the ball around nicely, trying to work through our defense. Galbor just sort of knocking it around. Mates gets it in there. Can we get the steal? Nope. Okay. You know, we don't have the sort of ball-winning type players in right now, but we're holding our shape. Defense is looking good. Rodriguez gets around the defense. Big tackle. That's why Jaguar is such a good defender. He's not great in the air, but on the ground, man, he will cut your legs out. He will win the ball. Great defensive play right there. Tactics, how are we doing? Standard width. Okay. I'm thinking about going narrow, but you know, we need to see a few more highlights for that. So they've only got 1 shot, none on target, 44% possession. This is a perfect game. Perfect game. 23 minutes and counting. Faria and Davies. Oh, here we go. Free kick from Davies. Ooh, he swings that one wide, but he had a lot of mustard on that one. The goalkeeper was not going to stop that if that was on target. Everybody playing well. Faria a little bit low at 6.7. Hundle. Here we go. Rosalind with a free kick. Sends it in. Daniels. Ooh. Sends that just wide. We're looking good. Getting a lot of positive plays here. Zlatkovic loses that throw-in, but Daniels is going to recover. Drops it off to Rosalind. Here we go. Daniels. Out wide to Zlatkovic. Okay, let's see if we can make a play. There we go. Out to Davies. Davies to Hundle. I would have preferred Davies to just take that himself. Big steal at midfield from Dunn. Outstanding play. Keeping the pressure on these boys. That's what we like to see. Faria and Davies are both looking exhausted. Oro's a little tired out there, too. We're going to have a lot of health problems here in the second half. I think we might keep Davies in this time around. He's playing so well. Give him a little bit more time in the second half. Here we go. Guerrero, Julio. Ecuador trying to get one right before half. Let's get out there. Midfield, where are you at? Where are you at, Julio? Oh, good stop, McGee. Not a great shot, but he was wide open. Okay, 1 minute of extra time, just about up, and there it is, and there's halftime. Up 1-0 halftime. Outstanding, boys. They've got 2 shots, 1 on target. That's what we like to see. Okay, Tactico. So Faria is the guy we probably want to get out of there. Bring in Balut on the right-hand side. I actually wouldn't mind bringing in Timoteo, but we are going to need him for Davies at some point. I think we'll just make that 1 sub at halftime and save the rest. Dressing room, let's be enthusiastic here. Passionate. Happy with your performance. Keep it up. Keep it up. Here we go, second half. Don't have much to say with that, just more of the same. I should have made that tactical change. I do think I want to go narrow defensive width. Okay, here we go. Daniels out wide to Davies on the run. Davies looking to make a play. Centers it. Hundle can't get the head on it. Daniels, though, wins it. Gets it in. Baloo. Yes, quiets the crowd. Stunned silence. Canadian fans seem to be cheering, but, inaudibly cheering. They're being very polite, as Canadians are wont to do. Now we're cheering. Davies, Hundle, Daniels. Back out to Davies, who crosses it. Baloo in the midst of traffic with a great volley past the keeper. Canada's up 2-0 for Ecuador. Baloo comes in with a 7.4 rating right off the bat. Davies is exhausted out there, so we don't necessarily need him now that we got a 2-goal lead. Take him out. Oh, terrible back post play from Rodriguez. That was a sure goal. So there was a little game the other day, USA versus Canada, in the Nations League. Canada beat USA, and everybody is sort of losing their mind. Guerrero to Julio. Here comes Ecuador. We'll get back to that in a minute. Julio looking to make a move downfield. Big tackle, Timoteo. That's why we bring him in. He's a responsible defender. Let's put it that way. He's not the greatest defender, but he is responsible. Here we go. Midfield. Doing their thing. Timoteo. Hundle. Okay. Slatkovic getting forward. Got Roseland wide open if they want him. Back out wide to Zlatkovic, who has to come back for it. Okay. Messing around with it. Building possession here. Millar around one defender. He's got some space. He gets it out wide to Oro on the overlap. Oro, that was terrible. Why didn't you send that back to Millar? I mean, he did win a corner, but if he sent that back to Millar, that was a goal. There's Timoteo taking the corner. Sends it up there. Nobody particularly in the vicinity, but Baloo does gather it in. Sends it back. Millar on the back post. Can't win it. Daniels with the header. Ecuador clears it out. So I didn't really want to talk about the game, but I did notice that as soon as Canada went up 1-0, and it looked like, they were controlling the game pretty decently, the coach took David and Davies out of the game because those two guys are too valuable. Canada needs those guys. They can't lose them. So it's just an interesting philosophy. I did the same thing in the first few years. Very careful with David and Davies taking them out of the game. Daniels is going to fall over dead. So let's bring in one of our defensive midfielders here. Let's bring in Jackson Amell. Let's make him ball-winning midfielder. Just, add a little defensive steel to the defense, to the midfield. So, yeah, it was interesting to see them do that and sort of follow kind of what I did. And it's very interesting to follow this Canadian team in real life. When I've been playing with them for like 5 and 6 years now, I feel like I know these players. And it was interesting to listen to the American analysts beforehand talking about, oh, you need to get to know this guy and get to know that guy and who's this guy and where's this guy come from. It's like, I know all these guys. Anyway, 74 minutes. Throw in Oro. Gets it to Baloo. Back to Oro. Okay. We're just going to sort of, milk it. And then Oro bombs it. Millar on the run. Behind the defense again. Not a great angle. Oh, that almost went in off a deflection. That would have been the worst goal in the history of goals if that had gone in. We'd have taken it, but come on. Hundel's dying out there. We can't do anything about it. We're just going to have to let him die. He's gotten a lot better since we first put him in the lineup. He's still not a great player, but he can provide us some interesting stuff. Valued at $6.5 million these days. Here we go, 87 minutes. Big steal in the midfield from Rosalind. He starts the counterattack. We do have counterattack on. It's sort of a slower counterattack. Millar wide open. Big save from Gordon. Again, it's Millar in a nutshell. He gets a lot of those opportunities, and he doesn't really capitalize on many of them. To Mateo. Baloo. We seem quicker to the ball. Baloo lost it there, but he got to it first. 19 shots, 12 on target. Ecuador is just falling apart. 4 minutes of added time, 89 minutes. Looking good. We're going to make it to the next round. Oh, they've gone to a 3-4-3, trying to put some attacking pressure on. No good. To no avail. 2-0. How about that? We even forgot to look at Ecuador. See where they're ranked. 29th. So this tournament should help us out. It should boost our ranking. Beating both South Korea and Ecuador in the world rankings should help us out. Where is South Korea? South Korea. Oh, there's the Korea Republic. I was about to say, is that North Korea? No, it's Korea Republic. So they were 24th, tied with Netherlands. Beat them. Meanwhile, we're languishing in 54th of all places. We moved up 2 places. Come on. We got to move up ahead of Honduras. Come on. These wins, these are big wins. Anyway, let's get back to the match. Let's see. Is there a player of the match situation going on here? Don't see one yet. Best performers, Davies with 2 assists, 8.1 rating. Gordon with 9 saves. Yeah, he came up big for Ecuador, even though he let 2 in. Faria, 2 big mistakes, but they didn't cost us, so that's good. I guess we didn't get player of the match. Am I missing it again? Davies got player of the match. There he is. 7.4 in the first half, 8.1 rating overall. Great performance. Glad we left him in at halftime. Oops, I forgot to give a pep talk. Doesn't matter. We're moving on to the next round. England beats South Korea 3-1, so England will probably be top of the group. Take a look at the inbox. Quality of possession provides victory. Way to go. Repetto disappointed in humbling defeat. Unfortunate for you, but we are moving on. England and Canada qualify. We already know that in Group A, USA and Brazil, forgot the name of an entire nation for a second there. USA and Brazil move on in Group A, even though they don't have a game to play. It's only 3 games. Anyway, 6 points moves us on. Outstanding. It's a great fight down here in Group B. We'll see who we get in the next round. I don't think that's going to... I don't think they're going to tell us. Next, anyway, we got a press conference to go to. We'll figure out who we play next time up. So, there was one thing I forgot to mention. We did end up playing the Gold Cup match. A draw versus Cuba. Our B team was horrific in this Gold Cup. Losing to Haiti, losing to USA B team 3-1, and then draw against Cuba. Cuba's a team that's interesting. A little anecdote here. They're better in FM, it seems, than they are in real life, even though they only have half a team here. Because what I didn't realize after watching the USA game against Cuba is that Cuba still suffers from mass defection. Whenever they go to play a game anywhere, they just have mass defections from their players. I thought that was a thing of the past, Cuban defectors. I thought that was a thing for the 80s and 90s, but I guess it's still happening, and it's just devastating the Cuban national team. So, they don't have the players they should. They should be a better team, is what I'm saying. And they shouldn't be losing 7-0 to USA and Canada. But anyway, that's for some other conversation, for some other time. For now, we'll end it there, and we'll see you next time. So until then, we'll see you later. Bye-bye.